What's up, everyone? I'm back at y'all with another video. Now for this one, this could be a video of my horror slasher movie collection. Now, if you haven't checked out my last video that I uploaded called my supernatural horror movie collection, please check that out. I'm a horror fanatic. You know, I love slashers, supernatural horror, you name it. I'm just a fan of horror. So yeah, I decided why not, since I did that video, I decided why not show my horror slasher movie collection. So yeah, first up we have Friday the 13th part 1 and 2. Not the best ones. Like the original is near the bottom of my least favorite of the Friday the 13th movies. The second one was a huge step up, at least in my opinion, from the first one. So yeah. Next up, we have Friday the 13th part 3 3D, and we have Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Now, the third one's okay. It's not the best, but I love the fourth one. I freaking love it. One of the best horror slashers ever created. I freaking love that movie. Next up, we have Friday the 13th part 5 and 6. Part 5 was decent. You know, it had some good kills and all that stuff was decent. Part 6 was very good. I enjoyed part 6 quite a bit. Very well made horror film, very well made slasher. Next up, we have Friday the 13th, part 7 and 8. In my opinion, part 7 is underrated. I love part 7. It's one of my favorites in the franchise. Might be more, that's one of the first ones that I've watched that got me into Friday the 13th a little bit. But yeah, I enjoyed part 7 a lot. I know they cut away some of the kills, but I still enjoy that movie. And part 8, still kind of underrated. There are some good moments in the film. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit, but not that much, you know. Next up, we have Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell, it's okay. You know, it's okay. They try to do something different, and they definitely did that. They definitely did something a little different, and I can respect that, because if you're going to do a sequel or anything, you got to do something a little bit different, because if you do the same thing, it's going to just feel generic and everything. So yeah, I respect that, them doing something at least a little bit different. Next up is Jason X, Guilty Pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure movie. I freaking love this movie. I remember me and my cousins used to sit there and watch this movie a lot. So I have fun memories with it. This movie's one of the movies that you sit around with a bunch of friends and enjoy yourself. Like, that's one of them type of movies. And Jason X, I know a lot of people hate it, but I thought it was a very enjoyable film. Jason X. Next up is Friday the 13th Remake. Now, I know a lot of people hate this movie. Some people even despise it. I love this movie because of the kills, and Jason was badass. I enjoyed this movie. Next up is the original Child's Play. A masterpiece. A masterpiece. Yes, some of the stuff is a little bit dated, but it's still a masterpiece. It still had that creepy vibe that I love about this movie. This movie is actually the first horror movie I've ever saw, like I ever watched. Because when I was 3 years old, I remember watching this movie at 3 years old, and it cooked me instantly with horror. This movie has a huge spot in my heart, and I love the hell out of this movie quite a bit. Next up, as y'all may could tell, I'm a huge freaking Chucky fan. So yeah, this one, even though I have the first one already, I decided to buy the first one because of the cool case and everything else, and it's a different type of thing. So that's awesome. And then I also have the 6-disc Chucky movie collection, which is, I love the set. The original is a masterpiece. The second one's also a masterpiece. The third one they could have done better. Bridal Chucky was pretty good. See the Chucky was shit. That's the only bad Chucky movie. It's crazy. Like, the only really bad Chucky movie I can think of is See the Chucky. The rest was See Chucky. The rest of them I can enjoy. The rest of them are watchable. Even Child's Play 3, that's my second least favorite and everything, but that's still watchable. And then See the Chucky's barely watchable at all. And then Curse of Chucky, the Dalmatians decided to turn it back around And this is Chucky's decent way back to form. I enjoy Curse of Chucky quite a bit. Next up is Cult of Chucky. Now, this movie has mixed opinions. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love it when a movie does that. This movie is very enjoyable to me. I love the kills. I love the way the doll looked, and everything. So, yeah, Cult of Chucky. And a lot of people hate the way the doll looked. I didn't mind it. Next up, we have Child's Play 2, the Glow in the Dark Art Edition. Now, I love this edition and everything. I love this edition a lot. Next up, we have Bridal Chucky, Glow in the Dark Art Edition. Like I said, I'm a huge Chucky fan. Chucky's like my second favorite horror icon. So close to being like my number one, but he's my number two, close to Michael Myers. So, yeah, Bridal Chucky, Glow in the Dark Art Edition. You know I had to buy because I'm just a Chucky fan. Next up is the Child's Play remake. Underrated movie altogether. Some people hate it just because it's different. I could spend forever talking about this movie. The kills are great. Like, Chucky is great in this movie. Mark Hamill did a great job from what he was given, from the story details and everything. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Next up, we have Halloween. My favorite horror franchise ever. Without a question. Halloween is just iconic. Like, what can I say? It's iconic. This movie had the best horror score ever. And then had the best horror mask and costume ever. It's iconic. Next up, Halloween 2. This movie's okay. I don't love it, but I thought it was decent. Next up, Halloween 3. I know a lot of people will start to love this movie. I really don't like it that much. It's boring. Some people might say, well, you don't like it because Michael Myers ain't in it. No, that ain't even the case. Here, it's boring and generic. This movie is just generic as hell. It's just boring. I fall asleep. I try to watch it. It's like, this is the only Halloween movie that is almost unwatchable in my opinion. It's so boring. Like, it's like when I watch this movie, I get bored out of my mind. So yeah, Halloween 3. Next up is Halloween 4 and 5. Now, I love Halloween 4. It's one of the best in the franchise. I just freaking love the hell out of that movie. One of my favorite, actually, it is my favorite horror sequel of all time. Close to Child's Play 2. And stuff. So, yeah, Halloween 4. What a masterpiece. The only problem I have with it is the mask. And then Halloween 5. Halloween 5 is better than what people give it credit for. There are some bad things about Halloween 5, but it's still better than what people give it credit for. Next up is Halloween 3 movie collection set. It comes with Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, I love Halloween Curse of Michael Myers. It's not great, but I still enjoy it. Halloween Resurrection was shit. Halloween H2O. I love Halloween H2O. Next up, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, I actually enjoyed some of the parts of the beginning. Some of the parts of the beginning. Where, you know, Michael Myers was a kid and stuff. I enjoyed some scenes of the beginning of that. So, and then the rest of the movie was like good kills and everything. Pretty decent Halloween movie. Next up is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 had one of the creepiest, scariest beginnings, opening scenes in horror movie history, in my opinion. Because imagine you're in that situation, but you find out it's a fucking dream in the movie, and it's kind of just, the movie went downhill from there. It's like, after that scene, there are some good moments here and there, but there are also a lot of bad moments here and there. So the movie kind of fell flat. So yeah, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Next up, Halloween 2018. I love this movie. this movie is a definition how to make a great sequel. Like, I freaking love this movie. Freaking love this movie. Next up is Leprechaun 7 movie collection. The only freaking shitty Leprechaun movie I could think of is Leprechaun Origins. But the rest of them are okay to decent. Like, decent to pretty good to decent, you know, at best. But yeah, the Leprechaun movies. They're pretty good slasher movies. Next up, Leprechaun Returns. Now, this is a really good slasher horror movie. I really enjoyed this movie. You know, of course, not as good as Halloween 2018 was, because this movie is a direct sequel to the original Leprechaun. But yeah, and this is a pretty decent movie. It's not the best, but decent. Next up, we have The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Now, apparently they have the original, and then they remade it by Blumhouse and stuff. But yeah, this movie has some pretty good kills in it. It's a very fun movie in my opinion. I really enjoyed this movie. Next up is See No Evil. Great slasher. Kane did a great job in these movies. I enjoyed him in See No Evil. Hopefully we get a third one, because See No Evil 2 was a great horror sequel, great horror slasher sequel. I enjoyed this horror sequel very, very much. So yeah, I guess I'm out here, y'all. This could be a part 2. As soon as I finish this video, I'm gonna film part 2, so I can show y'all the rest of my horror slasher collections, because they have a lot. I even have a lot more. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. If y'all enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please subscribe and share, and also hit the bell so you know and I'll catch y'all in the next video.